All right, we are back with our next exit interview. I am here with Angela. She was voted out in episode 8, and she is our fourth jury member. So, Angela, tell us about your experience out there this year or last year.
It was a lot of fun. It took some persuading for me to do it, but I'm glad I did. Um, the sleeping on the ground was miserable. That's where my word misery came from. I think I dozed off one time and then I woke up and said misery. And they all laughed at me, but that was miserable. I saw the sun go down, I saw the moon come up, I saw the moon go down, and I saw the sun rise again. It was awful. But other than that, it was a lot of fun.
Good. I am, we asked you to do it in season 1, and you were gave me every excuse in the book not to do it. And then I tried to get your husband and you vouched for him, but I'm glad that you chose to do it this year.
Thank you.
Um, so let's talk about, pre-game alliances. This is a huge part, unfortunately, in the game because we have to announce the cast months before y'all get to play. So it is inevitable that y'all are able to talk to each other. So tell me about if you had any pregame alliances. Who were they with? Did it affect the game at all?
Well, everyone thought that all the Horry County school employees had aligned, and we didn't. But I did have an alliance with Wayne because you guys said we were the oldies. So we just kind of decided, okay, well, we're gonna get together. And then Mariah and I got kind of close because she worked out with me a couple of times via Google Meets. And she was trying to get into her, you know, get back in shape. So she worked out with me. So we kind of got an alliance, which didn't go real well for her.
Mm. So, looking at the tribes, first thing we did when the camera started rolling is we took you to the big field and we put you in your tribes. And you were on the pink tribe. Now, before think about this in that moment, not how it actually happened, but when you first saw what tribe you're on, what were you thinking? Were you happy or did you want to go on a different one?
I was okay with it. I didn't know anyone other than, the locals, or some of them. And Josh was on my tribe and he had just got thrown into the game because someone didn't show, which was great. So I was okay with it. I just kind of, it was a little nerve wracking because I wasn't a super fan of Survivor. So I was like, oh gosh, I'm by myself. None of my, the people that I had aligned with were with me. So I was like, okay, how is this going to work out? But I was okay with it at first.
Okay. So looking at would you have chosen chosen a different tribe or would you have just stuck with the one that you were given?
I think I was okay with what I was given. It kind of worked out. We and Nicole and Josh and I, we kind of had similar personalities, so we were able to mesh and bond pretty well. So, I think it worked out okay.
So talk to me about how the pre-merge was for you and your tribe, with Johnny Fairplay and Donnie. Just talk to me about that.
Well, I didn't. Donnie just had to go because we couldn't vote Johnny off first. I'm a pretty low key person, and Johnny's personality is so different than mine. So he just kind of, it was almost like I was having to be at work, having to control my tongue, because he just kind of wanted to argue and make everything, you know, it was just it wasn't a feel good moment having him around. So he just kind of just talked too much, and So Donnie had to go so that we could get Johnny. And then Johnny threw the paintball challenge, which was like, okay, fine, because you're going home.
Did you think for a second he might have actually gotten an idol?
No, I didn't. I really did.
Uh, so let's talk about the challenge in this past episode. The episode you went home in. It was an interesting challenge on our end because you and Leah pretty much finished at the same time, and we weren't able to tell who got it a millisecond before. So, there was a face-off. So talk to me about your thought process through that challenge.
Well, the face off was, I didn't, I was nervous and I just for a split second forgot the rule. And that's what, but we probably would have had to go to another one because I was right there with her until I, just lost my train of thought and picked up 2 blocks at one time. But, um, it was okay. It was fun.
Yeah.
I knew I was going home after that though.
Well, okay, so if you won immunity, what do you think would have happened?
Wow. I think Josh or Nicole probably would have gotten voted out. We thought about, or I know at least there was talk about us going to Derek and talking with him. I never did because I was so in my head about, oh gosh, how do I fix this? How do I, so I didn't talk to many people. And, usually when I'm a little nervous or I get deep in thought. So I didn't have a lot of words when I knew it was about time for me to go on the chopping block. But hindsight is 2020. I probably should have gone to Derek because at that time we knew that Leah and Crystal were controlling the game, even though everybody kind of previously thought that I was so out of it that they were so wrong in thinking that. But um, if I had won, maybe I would have been more talkative to try to get Derek on our side, but that didn't happen, so it was okay. But I
Was there
do say that I would have, looking back, I didn't know about all the challenges, how to use them, even though I did a lot of the research. But the challenge where actually the vote, I used a extra vote to get Leah off because I thought that they were coming for Nicole and I wanted to make sure that we got Leah with my extra vote, but I did not have to use that. And I think that if I had kept that, um, we would have been able to go a little bit farther. But Nicole's name came up in all that. When you said we were going to another vote, Nicole's name came up, and I was like, okay, I can't let her go. So I used that to vote, make sure that I'm not Leah. Um, who was it?
Crystal?
No, uh, Laura.
Laura, okay.
Laura, that's who I voted, gave the extra, or I voted extra for Laura to go so that Nicole wouldn't be voted off because I wasn't sure how that was going to go.
I gotcha. So, was there ever any talk of maybe the green and pink tribe coming together for one more vote to get Derek out and then kind of do a 3v3 and see how it goes?
They didn't come to me. There was only one person that talked to me, and that was Crystal, when we first merged. And I think she just said that to kind of make me think that, we were on an alliance together, which I heard her, but I really didn't believe her
Yeah.
because I just felt like they were going to work to pick each one of us off one at a time, which is what happened.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about your tribal council. Now, when that was an interesting, let me hear your point of view and then I'll say what I have to say. Go ahead.
Um, the one where I got voted off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I mean, I didn't really see it as, I knew I was going home. I knew that I was going to be the one that was going to be voted off, if I didn't win immunity.
Well, okay, so you said that to me at tribal council, and I think I was like, wow, or something. It didn't make it in, but I was very surprised that you said that. Now, I know you wanted to, and I saw in your exit, your final words, you stuck to your morals and all that stuff, but did you ever think that maybe I should try and talk with some other people in the other tribes and try and make a move to save myself? Or what made you think you should just accept it and be re-
Sometimes that's kind of my personality, but
yeah.
I do think that if I had probably gotten to Derek, and I think I mentioned that to him when we watched the first episode together, um, that after the fact and after it was all over, I wished that I had gone to him. And, I went to him and I said, I thought about it afterwards. And he said, yeah, um, if you had come or someone had approached me, he probably would have, because we knew that Laura and Crystal, everyone knew at that time that they were just controlling the game.
So when watching the episode and all of the episodes so far, did anything surprise you or stick out, maybe in the confessionals or anything like that?
Well, it was surprising that I had well, I guess it shouldn't have been a surprise, but that I had the biggest target. I mean, if you look back at all the votes, my name was written down more than anyone. So I was kind of surprised at that because, you know, um, I just didn't think that having having fundraise, which was the cause, would have put such a big target on my back. And I did work hard at the fundraising, but I did kind of know that if I didn't have those, I may not have gone as far, and that's why I did tried so hard at the fundraising, because I
Yeah.
wanted to have those things in my back pocket.
Were you surprised with how far you made it?
I was, because I didn't know how to play the game, but I did, watch some of I watched the YouTube, the first season, and then I started trying to binge on the Real Survivor to try to figure those things out. And so I'm kind of surprised that I did. And, the challenges, the bonding with people, because sometimes I can be a little distant, staying quiet. And that was my motto going in: talk less and smile more.
Hmm.
It just kind of, that's kind of like my personality sometimes, especially in a situation where I don't know a lot of people.
Yeah. So, and I loved it because right before the game, and I think a little bit after, I was every day I'd get a message being like, I can't believe this person got voted out of this season. And you were so into watching. I was like, oh, I can't wait for Angela to play.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you have any regrets or anything you wish you would have done?
The only regret is playing that extra vote, when I didn't have to, but I wanted to make sure, like I said, that Nicole was safe. And I wasn't sure what was going on because of all the, talk that was going on. I guess lies that were being told to me. Um, so I don't regret it, because I was playing it for Nicole to make sure that she stayed on, but I do regret not knowing the truth or the facts, but I think I did pretty good.
Yes, you did. And I was proud of you those 2 rounds, that double tribal when you knew how to play those advantages and you played them perfectly. I was so proud. Um, do you have any last thoughts before we hop off?
No, thank you for encouraging me to do it, and for everyone that helped me fundraise, that gave any money, how big or how small. I do appreciate it, because going to the camp this summer and having my grandson participate in it and having volunteered in it, it was awesome to see those kids work together and get along, and even more than that, talk about Christ and
Yes.
learn about him.
And I was super thankful with everybody this season that we had a lot of y'all come out and volunteer and really get to experience camp. In the first season, um, not many people, got to come out from the first season's cast and see the camp. But this year, I mean, at least half of y'all at some point in the week made it out there. A lot of your grandson, people's kids were in, and everybody had like a stake in this year. And I just was so happy that everybody got to experience it. And hopefully, y'all will be back this year for camp. And other than that, I think that's it. Thank you for agreeing to compete and putting on a great show for everybody. And I hope to see you at our Zoom reunion in the next like 3 weeks. Only three more episodes left. So thank you, Angela.
No problem. We appreciate you too, Shaw, all your hard work.
Thank you. All right, we will see you for our next exit interview. Bye, y'all.